Hey, welcome back to Mr. PL's with Algebra's Unit 2, Topic 3, Lesson number 10. And we are going to continue our system of inequalities, solving them, and that's what we're going to do on the warm-up. We're going to test whether or not A, B, or C, which one of these answers will meet the criteria for this system of equations. System of inequalities, sorry. Put 6 in for X and 10 in for Y and see if it works. 3 times 6 would be 18. 18 minus 5 would be 13, and 13 is greater than 10, or 10 is less than greater or equal to 13. So that would work so far. 6 plus 2 is 8. 10 is greater than 8. So that does work for both of them. If I put 1, 4 in, 3 times 1 is 3, minus 5 is negative 2. 4 is not less than, so that does not work. And 3 times 8 is 24. 24 minus 5 is 19. Is 15 less than 19? Yes, it is. So far it works. 8 plus 2 is 10. Is 15 greater than 10? Yes, it is. That also works. Let me go back to here just to make sure. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 negative 2. 4 is less than negative 2. No, so that does not work. Okay. So then if I want to graph it, I could do that by finding the boundary line. Starts at negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. Up 1, 2, 3, right 1. Up 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, right 1. Boundary line is going to look like that. And it's going to be everything that is on the left side or above it. X plus 2 starts at 2 right there. Up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. And it'll be everything above that. I'm sorry, below this one and above this one. Everything. So let's see what that looks like. Everything that is below this line, but also above this line. So it looks like anything in this little wedge right here would work. 610 happens to be in that wedge, and probably so does 815. Anything in that little spot represents our solution. Right there. So there's an infinite amount of answers, but doesn't mean everything's an answer just because there's an infinite amount of answers, because all of these are not answers, these aren't answers, and these aren't answers. All three of those other sections. All right, so take it out of context. So this lesson's about writing your own system of equalities. So they give you the equation, but you're going to write your own scenario, you're going to graph it, and then you're going to explain what the meaning of your explanation is in the context of your situation. So like we did with those last few questions, it could be 3 bags of this food plus 4 bags of this food equals $23 total. That's just an example. Same with this one, 5x plus 3y equals 31. Then you're going to graph it. So I'm going to graph it by finding the x and y intercepts. 23 divided by 3 is going to give me, pull up my calculator, 23 divided by 3 is 7.6 repeated. X is about 7.7, let's say. And 23 divided by 4 is 5.75. Okay, now that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.7 is about right there. 5.75, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 is about right there. And that is equal to, so I've got a straight line connecting them. Do the same thing for the other equation. 31 divided by 5 is, we got decimals here, x is 6.2. Do the same thing for y. 31 divided by 3 is 10.3 repeated. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about right there. It's actually 10.3, but in 6.2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.2, about right there. And it looks like these two equations are going to meet about here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. About 5, 3. It's probably a decimal answer if I solve it using some sort of system of equations or elimination method. So explanation of method, well, it depends on what scenario you came up with. So if you were talking about dog food, then you would say the price of this would be this, the price of this would be this. It doesn't matter. Whatever your scenario was will determine what your explanation of your solution is. All right, so the same thing goes for all the other questions. This equation, if you look at it closely, you're going to notice that if you double the top line, it's the same thing as the bottom line. So that means that these two equations are going to be exactly the same. So when you graph them, and I don't know what the graphs will look like, it'll be the exact same thing, which means x and y, there's an infinite amount of answers because they intersect each other because they're the exact same thing. So there's an infinite amount of answers to this solution. Whereas this one, times 3 times 3 times 3. So it looks like these are going to be two parallel lines. These two lines are never going to intersect, which means they're never going to have an answer. This one has no solutions. So that was kind of the makeup of this lesson, is that you could have one solution, you could have infinite amount of solutions, or you could have no solutions like this question right here. All right, so this is what it looks like in the end. So this is a great summarizer of what I was just talking about. This is going to have one solution. This is going to have infinite amount of solutions. And this is going to have no solutions because these lines are never going to intersect. All right, so that was, we're going to skip this because this has to do with a system of 3 equations. So getting to the homework, solve for each system of equations using substitution or elimination method. Now, looking at the first equation, I think elimination would be the easiest because they've already solved it for y. So all I got to do is take this and plug it in right there. So 3 times x minus 4 times, let's substitute, negative 3x minus 7 in for y equals 13. Now we're going to use distributive property, 3x plus 12x. It's plus because a negative times a negative is a positive, and negative times a negative is another positive, so that's 28 equals 13. Combine like terms, 12x plus 3x makes 15x's, plus 28 equals 13, and then subtract 28 from both sides. So that means 15x equals 13 minus 28, I believe is negative 15. If I'm not mistaken. Yep. And divide both sides by 15, and you get x is negative 1. Once you've got x is negative 1, all you got to do is substitute it back in and solve for y. I'd use the bottom line, it'd be easier. Negative 3 times negative 1 minus 7. Negative 3 times negative 1 is 3. 3 minus 7 is negative 4. So there's our answer. Negative 1, negative 4. All right, same thing with this equation, but this time looks like elimination method is going to be easier because there's no y equals or x equals for any of the variables. But I do notice that these could be the same, so I'm going to multiply bottom line by 3, and it looks like, and I can tell right away, that this is going to have an infinite amount of answers. The top and the bottom look like the exact same thing. This is going to become 3x, this is going to become minus 3y, and this is going to become 3. So you end up with 0, 0, 0. 0 does equal 0. That is a true statement. So this has an infinite amount of answers, infinite amount of solutions. All right, that looks like that's the end of the homework. Please give it a like if it helped you learn something. And please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Awesome. Spread the word. Have a great day. Thank you.